factory ground 25mm blacksmith's drill, making some nice chips. So I can tidy that up and I'll start using make a hole bigger with a boring bar. I'm working on rebuilding this. This is my pillar drill, or drill press. It's the casting gear way, so I'm making it a bit stronger. And that'll go in there, but I need to machine a wee bit to let it in, and then we need to machine it that way and that way. So I've drilled into the side yet, so this will fit in, and then I'll weld it in place, and then I'll have to machine it that way. So that's going to be a bit eccentric, the weight. Maybe cut this down a bit, because it doesn't need to be that long. I've been making a new bit. This is the casting on my pillar drill that broke, so that's their like 5mm casting. Made it a bit thicker there and even thicker there. So that'll go into here. I've drilled and tapped for the various holes. It's a wee bit tight at the moment. I might need to pop it in the lathe and just fine tune it. I'm setting up the drill press here. I made a new bracket for there because the old casting broke, so I made it slightly stronger with 63mm solid bar. So we're just trying to get as level as possible because we're going to be doing the lathe. So that's reading 0 there. Let's turn it round the other way to see what it says. Just 3, 4. I need to calibrate this thing. Remember how you do it. Right, I recalibrated the level, but it was in calibration actually. It's a bit. Oh, it's moved. I had it at 0 there. Just breezing around it seems to move it. There we go. Not too much. Anyway, so we know that's plumb, shall we say. Let's see what this is. Right, so it should be 90 degrees. It's 89.5. Another thing. That's 88.55. But we never, I don't know what the level is that way yet. 56. 98, that's a bit odd. Right, I'm going to go with this one. 89, tip you that way, 89.60, so we're going to try and get that to 90 degrees, because we know this is level. And we know this is going to be to the square, but it's getting it bang on. It's quite hard with a thing like this. Going the wrong way. Oh, look, that's it, spot on. This level's accurate too. 1mm and 30 metres or something. I've used it before for levelling stuff, used it on the lathe, so that's now reading 89.9, so can't mind what you call them, the second digit of the millimetre, or just one off. Let's see if we can get it done. 89.95, I had it bang on there as well. It's moving when I tighten this screw. There we go. Right, so that's on 90 and that was on 0, and the square looks pretty good. So when I bore the holes for a lathe, they're going to be spot on. What I did is took a bit of steel and I turned the end down and sort of going in the chuck, so that rather than trying to use a drill surface, I wanted a round surface, so that's 90. Something like that, 0.5. And there you go, 0. So I've got 90 on there and 0 on there, so that between that surface and that surface we've got 90 degrees, true right angle. But I've other things to do. I've only tightened that bolt for the minute. I may have to, well, I tightened that one, but I've a bit to fit in here. That'll probably be the weekend. This is Tuesday, as I'm driving at the moment, and I'm going to extend this up under here for support like it had before when it was lower. I made it higher, of course that increased the wobble factor. But, I mean, that thing's just walking around, it's moving, that thing. There we go. It's so sensitive. I wonder what I'd use it for again, but there you go. So we'll take that as being as neat as we can get it. I think if I breathe it'll move it. Stay there. Oh, that's it. As you can see, it's quite sensitive. So that will help us. We're going to bore the, what we're going to do, the new chuckets over here. We need to get 3 holes bang on, and I mean bang on. This is my third go at trying to get the hole pattern in the right place. I can get 2 in the right place, so what I've done now, I've put it in the press here, applied pressure, and I'm gently tapping above the studs, so we'll drill them out and see if we get accurate this time. I worked my way right round, so quite a few goes. So what I'm doing, this is the back plate off of the old 3 jaw, which is there, but it's got the positions for the threaded rod. So that will fit in exactly in there once I grind out the bits. That and that needs to be ground out yet. And that'll let that sit in, then I can bore through the holes and they'll be an exact. It's 11.1 millimeters, and I bought 11.1 millimeter drills, so I think we can tap that to M12 hopefully, or maybe an imperial size, I can't remember exactly. But the reason I bought that drill is so it was tight in that hole. We could just try it for fun, couldn't I? See if we can find one. He's using them for other things. See that level's moving with me walking around here. Not sure it's sensitive or anything. I get the 11 pipe. Right, I bought 2 of them, but as usual I've lost a wee bit of wobble, but pretty good. You could tap that. So the plan is to bore down through this the threaded holes here. So we'll bore down through this, which will be countersunk into that, and then I'll tap the steel backplate for 3 studs. Probably M12, maybe something like that. A bit of wobble on there, but it'll be okay. It's small enough that do is put some insulating tape around it or something just to keep it dead straight. Anyway, so that's the plan. Like I say, I'm going to probably do that at the weekend, because this driving job I'll start at 6:15 and finish around 5:30, and then I've got to drive half an hour to get there and back. It's quite a long day. So that's got that within 0.5 of a millimetre, which is not a lot of thousandths. Anyway, that's all for the moment. I'll do a little probably video it, and then you can see me screaming when I get older and I'll see it again. But I really, the thing is, if we don't get it the first time, I can turn it, do it again. But yeah, we just need to grind that corners out so they sit over the Allen bolts that are on here. I've been machining this bit of 20mm plate. It's horrible stuff to machine. It gives you the worst chips. It's like a bird's nest. You have to keep pulling the stuff off of the cutter. So I made a slight error. I made this a male, but it should have been female, but I've managed to salvage it by coming in and leaving that bit. I took it down a bit. It's only got 5mm in here. So this is probably an interference fit of this at the moment. I'll do the other side and then we'll play about with it as needed. So I'll start at that side yet. Up and coming. It's just to let them sit over these heads, and then I'll clean it all up, of course, and then hopefully we'll get it on, and then I'm going to machine this bit here when it's on, which will, that's our new chuck. So hopefully I'll get it within a thousandth of an inch, if not better, because I bored these holes and they were out a bit, but there's a lip that sits into the back of the chuck. So this was dead centred, and then I just filed them out to let them in. But then the casting was broke on the pillar drill, so that's what I've been doing, sorting the pillar drill, so I can get an exact position. It's okay to get the weekend probably. Well, I finally bought some decent tool holders. Because the ones I've got, I mean, I think I broke about 6 of those inserts yesterday, but this is quality, shall we say, rather than quantity, and that's a CNMG insert, which is CNMG 090368-MP, so overall that means, but CNMG seems to be very popular, and that's a left and the right hand. I got them from Cutwell, so that 6 inserts and that £96. So I know you can buy umpteen of the other ones for that, but We'll give them a try today and see how they do. I would think that they'll be pretty good. I've got the back plate mounted onto the lathe now. I was running it this way and it was showing 20 thou, but I think once the chuck goes on, it'll pull it back into position. I drilled and tapped these 1/2 inch UNF, sorry, and I got nylock bolts in there as well. So I mean, it was quite hard to get that on because some of the drill holes moved a wee bit as usual. So we're away to see if I can get the chuck on now and see how true it's running, but it's looking not bad when you look in there. It's flush against it and everything. So let's get the chuck on. I'll bring you back because I could involve swearing. That's me got the face of the adapter fitting in. It'll pull in with the bolts now, but I've got it as tight as I can, obviously. So next move is try and get the bolt holes. I've had one go at lining up the bolt holes and it didn't work. But then my pillar draw broke, so we'll see what happens. I'll put an indicator on here and see what it's like. That's the new back plate on and the new 3-jaw chuck. It started at 5,000, so I've got it down to about 5-6 tens now. It's probably as good as it will go, because remember, right, that's what that is. So what I did is I remachined the back plate in place. Took a little bit more off, it wasn't quite so tight, and it worked as well, so cut it flush in place. And that seems to got it from 5,000 to what you can see there. I would say 7 tenths maybe, but there could be little bits on the surface there. 5 tenths probably, something like that, which is about as good as I'm going to get. But I tried the jaws earlier and they were a wee bit out as well, so I'll tighten all the screws and try it again and see what happens. But I think, not sure if I'm going to machine that down or leave it the way it is, because it's kind of handy to hold on to. Right, I'll bring it back once everything stops. Well, as we showed you, the chuck's actually running true, but we're about 10 thousandths out on this as you do a full revolution. So I tried loosening these screws, but nothing moved. So I think what I'm going to do is put a boring bar in and turn it true to the boring bar and get it. It's an £89 chuck. I wasn't expecting it to be fan-dabby-dozy first go. But certainly I remachined this and flattened it as well, and that's just made that fine. Like I say, the run out on that is the same as that, if I remember right. So we'll need to do something with this, but it's a job for tomorrow. I'm just going away to run a boring bar through here. One of these is off just a little bit. I've got a turned bit of pipe, so it should be okay in the back, just behind the last tooth of the jaws there. So I think we're about 5 thousandths out, so we'll run this insert in and see what happens, and then we'll recheck it, because it was coming back to the same place all the time. I just think it was needing a bit of fine tuning. Right, let's go. See what happens. We'll get up. she goes. See if it's actually touching anything. Well, it's hitting all the jaws, that's good. I'll put another couple of thou on it. Yeah. We'll try some in and see if there's any run out still. Probably. Something I know to be around would be a good idea. I just sneaked that in behind the jaws there. I've seen folk putting bits of metal in between the jaws, you know, in this way plates, but I managed to sneak that in behind it, and that's been machined, so it should be true. I don't think that'll be. There we go. This should be true as well. Got a wee trick as well to moving this. So the guy that has precision engineering channel on YouTube, if he's got a 3 jaw that's just slightly out, he taps the end of the jaw, and I think it would need to be a lot slightly out than what we were getting. There's for fun. Miles out. Still about 5 thou out, which is too much. We'll have to go with plan B. I'm not sure what plan B is yet, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. Figure out which jaw is causing the problem. 0. That's jaw 3, 0. Jaw, that's 0 there. And then this one. It's going that way. It's too far in. Needs it. Is that correct? So, yeah, it needs to come towards us. So does that mean those two are wrong? And this one's right. I did try loosening these Allen screws, but it's like they've used some kind of super glue to put it together. I'm not sure how they held them, because they are in two parts, but they didn't move. Gently tap that. Well, it's definitely repeatable, but it's repeatable wrong. You know what I mean? It's weird. Zero. It's better. Set that to 0. Could be this old gauge like, but it's usually not too bad. Give it a clean every now and again. Right, that's on 0. 2. 3. A-bomb's trick. Right. That's on 0, or near enough 0. Well, according to that, when I do it that way, it's got 1.5. Looks to be spot on actually. I think we'll machine something and see how it comes out. It could be this old gauge. I've hinted to get a new one for Father's Day. About 1 thou. Well, 1 thou would be okay, because that's what you're getting with the rest of it. It's not going to be as precise as a brand new precision lathe like A-bomb buttons are. I think he's done well out of his YouTube. Now, if we go by the rule rather than the... I wonder if the turn face isn't just smooth, so it might have been moving it a wee bit. But you would think if I machined that true to that, that would be right, and it seems to be that's what's happened. I'd say we've got about 1 thou, maybe even that. Well, happy with that. So I'm going to wait to try and get my lawnmower to go, this little so-and-so here, after I make a new handle for it, because I mean, you know, this mower used to be great. You used to just pull it and away it would go, but it's been sitting all winter. I did get it to run for a minute or two and then nah, nothing. But the coils were quite rusty, so I cleaned them with sandpaper, and I've gapped it at 15, but apparently it's 12, so I'm going to take it out. I was getting a spark. Take it out again, gap it to 12. I spun it with the air wrench to see if I was getting a spark with the spark plug out, and no bother. But it's just now starting. It is old petrol, but it should still start. Put some aerostart in it just to give it a bit of kick. Excuse me. But before we do that, I think we'll have a cup of tea. And then I found a bit of stuff. Here's our next project. This casting here, well, I've repaired that one, you've probably seen that earlier, but this one's split as well, so I'm going to make a new one out of that, which should be a bit stronger. Yeah, but we've got to split it so we can tighten it. Aye, this is going to be fun. Aye, when you tighten a nut, it just comes loose again because it opens up the crack. The crack's actually in that bit there, which we could weld up, re-drill and re-tap, I suppose, but I think this should be better. We'll see. It's not, I'm not doing it today anyway, but I'm doing some job for the Polaris as well. Like I say, I'd love to try turning something on it with that chuck. And I was also wondering if I could adapt the forejaw there to fit onto this back plate, because you only need 3 Allen bolts to get it onto this black plate. So if we could get that lined up to go on here, it would just matter 3 bolts out and that's it. Because this thing's quite complex and awkward to get. It might work. That's the adapter plate, that can come off. Not sure, I'll look into it in the future. Because there are times you'd want a 4-jaw over a 3-jaw, because there's times you want to hold something odd. Well, I do. I seem to end up with weird things. Okay, that's all for the moment. I'm waiting to get a cup of tea.